Now, did you get a chance to see the new Tupac movie, the biopic, the All Eyez On Me?
Of course, of course.
Thoughts on that?
It was dope. It was dope to me. I felt like the timeline conflicted with some of the things that actually happened in real life, because I'm a Tupac fan. So I really know, unlike the younger generation, I really know the timeline and, just simple stuff like that. But as far as the story, as far as the actors, shit was cool. It was solid. I fuck with it.
Now, there is an actor that plays Snoop Dogg in the Tupac biopic. And they didn't use the actor's voice. Snoop Dogg actually used his voice and dubbed his voice on that actor. What did you think when you saw that?
I thought that when they brought, I thought, for real talk, because I wasn't 100% sure that happened, but when me and my girl was looking at it, my girl, an actress, she was like, yo, that's Snoop voice. So when we really picked up on it, I was like, oh yeah, when they brought that movie to Dog, he did not want his part to get fucked up. So I bet that's why he did that shit. You know what I'm saying? Folks get real touchy about how they are portrayed in these biopics and all these type of movies and shit now. And the fact, Tupac he's not here to be able to coach, you know what I'm saying, the person who played his role and tell him like his mannerisms to do to make the shit more real. But Snoop here, so I can see why that happened.
Now, you bring up a very good point. Tupac's mother has also passed away by the time this movie was even put together and came out, so she wasn't around to say this or that either about how Tupac was depicted. And I did an interview with another rapper, and they told me that they think that if at least Tupac's mother was around, that the biopic probably would have been way more fire than it was, because you would have had that extra, clarification on the character.
I agree. I feel like the NWA biopic was so successful because all these cats, with the exception of Eazy-E, was there to say, this is exactly how I want this. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that everybody was involved, you know what I'm saying? And then how they picked Cube's son, who looked just like Ice Cube back then, you know what I'm saying? It just, that was the major difference, the small details, the fact that all them boys was around and involved and able to, put their sauce on that thing.
Which another person I did an interview with mentioned the same thing. Now, speaking of the NWA Straight Outta Compton biopic and the Tupac All Eyez On Me biopic, how would you rate the Tupac biopic out of all the hip-hop biopics that have come out thus far? How would you rate it? A lot of people would say that the NWA Straight Outta Compton biopic is probably #1 on that list.
Okay.
How do you feel about that, and where would you rate this Tupac one?
Okay.
Which has gotten a lot of mixed reviews.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I had to go see it for myself. You know what I'm saying? NWA, I would give that on a scale of 1 to 10, a 9. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting that #1. I give the Notorious B.I.G. one an 8, and I give the Tupac a 7. Yeah, I put it third. It wasn't bad like how folks are saying. Like, I feel like that shit got a bad rep, you know what I'm saying? And it's all about what you're expecting to see when you're going in there. I know that Tupac been dead forever, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can't expect them to get Tupac right on. And then Tupac is such a legendary figure to us. Whoever played Tupac, they was gonna say it wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Because Tupac has a special place in our hearts. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why I put the order like that.
Do you think people would have respected this biopic or put it on a higher pedestal if the NWA movie never came out yet?
Definitely, because they wouldn't have had nothing to compare it to. See, now, NWA, they kind of set a bar for this biopic shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Who would you want to see next? Who would you want to see a biopic of next, if you could have it your way? Anybody in particular?
All right. I'm from the South, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to start it off like this right here, because it's a few of them. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? One of our biggest rappers was Jason Camouflage Johnson. And I would like to see a Camouflage biopic. You know what I'm saying? Just because I think, like, this newer generation, they need to understand who Flaj was. Like, Flaj was in the forefront of the South movement before your Tips, before your Gottis, before your Bootsies, you know what I'm saying, before Rick Ross. All these people acknowledge what Camouflage would have been, you know what I'm saying? So I think to really see his whole life and really shine some light on Savannah as a whole and what he was doing and what they was doing independent, moving 50,000 units without the internet and all that type of shit, I think that need to be seen. Next off, I would like to see the Outkast biopic. You know what I'm saying? I think that should be dope just to see how everybody came up through the dungeon. Because if you're not in Atlanta, you don't really know the story per se like how we do, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually, Big Boy, one of my mentors. So I really then been able to see their relationships, you know what I'm saying, and how it's been doing over the years, like with Organized Noise and Goody Mob and, you know what I'm saying, all that shit. So I think the world needs to really be able to feel that whole story because the younger generation is somewhat out of touch with Outkast. Next, I like to see a UGK biopic, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, the younger generation is out of touch with UGK, out of touch with country rap tunes type of music, and you know, that's a side of Southern culture that don't need to be forgotten about. You know what I'm saying? It's cool we got the trap, you know what I'm saying? But it's also people who are Southern players and kicking real pimp shit like myself, you know what I'm saying? Next, I like to see, of course, Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? I think that'll be a dope-ass story. And marketing-wise, if they smart, the fact that they did NWA and then they did Tupac, you know what I'm saying? I would do Snoop next out of all of them just to capitalize off of the West movement and what they already got going.
Now, okay. They also had in the Snoop character, they had a Snoop character in the NWA Straight Outta Compton movie. Did you think that was a better depiction of Snoop than the, I mean, I know it wasn't much, but he was in there.
I liked that dude, though. I liked that dude, though. Like, he had, like, Snoop mannerisms and shit, like how Holmes rubbed his hands and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that dude, you know what I mean? It's only one Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg, another person that you ain't gonna be able to get right because he has a certain place in our hearts as one of our legends. But I like that dude, too. I can't really say one was better than the other because both of them, you know what I'm saying, they did shit that Dogg actually do. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know he had to have his hands in that shit some type of way, and they had to really did their homework.